I really wish I could see Planes of Power again. Not necessarily all the Druid ports and, you know, the town that took over all the other towns, but the actual raid zones were some of my favorites out of all the things that, you know, you could do there. I'm really clumsy. Yeah, somebody reported boxing in the zone I was in, and Sirkin came to run the trace tool and caught whoever was boxing. And he ran it on me twice. Harkin, thank you for the cheers, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to try another corpse run here in a second. This could be as messy as it was for the very first one, so we are meting up so I have plenty of roots and heals for Trav so we don't make things even worse. So I do apologize for the lull, but it lets me read what you guys are saying over there. I have a feeling if I find them, you'll just lose them again in 5 minutes. We found it in a log and said sorry about that. Hey, Captain, how you doing, man? Thank you for the cheers as well. You guys are being too generous tonight. Not, I understand. Team multi-box, and you were banned for it. Not sure. No circuit messed up. Trace tool is player targeted ability. He used it on me twice in a row. I feel violated. That's just annoying. Well, they're trying to make the game better. They're trying to keep the community in line, and, you know, everybody's human. People make mistakes. But they're pretty good about going back and fixing, at least from what I've heard. I've never really ran into the wrong side of them. I know they did a pretty big ban not too long ago. Actually, just like a week ago, right? For Aftermath, some officer in their guild was doing some real money transfers and had access to other people's accounts and cast a wide net. But when you went back onto the forums, they pretty much gave people access to their accounts again, so not horrible, but was kind of sucky for some of those people. Yeah, I made him fix it. You made him fix it, all right. Telling Circle what to do.
Twist that arm.
Hey, my Lantis, how you doing, man? Yeah, you guys are awesome with these cheers.
Yeah, Cluin was doing the real money trading shit.
What was his name?
Cluin or something?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Someone in my guild was talking about it the other day, and I was like, damn, that it sounded like they went out with like a vengeance, but then, like you said, they're pretty nice about how they handled it in the end.
He's talked about it on his streams before, where he even says the same thing. He's like, we cast a wide net. We hit everybody who had even a remote possibility of being, you know, stuck with it. And then it's up to you guys to hit us back and explain what actually happened with your scenario. We listen, we look at the files. If it backs it up, we get your account back. You know, like they're not trying to be overly harsh to anybody.
It's like, you better safe than sorry policy, where we're going to be safe and we don't mind being sorry, but it's better that way, that we, you know, get everything done.
Yeah. And, you know, even if you weren't there when it happened, like you gave somebody access to your account, they got banned, and a year later you come back, try to get back into it, and it's banned, you can still hit them back up, explain what happened, and they have been known to give people access again, so we should be good.
I think there's a relative level of this stuff, you know, it is being run on their virtual, like, it does cost them money, but I don't think it's too much of an expense to give someone back access to their character.
I don't think that costs them anything. I think it's just time.
Right.
Which it kind of is costing them something in the end, but they're very generous with their time. They've run holiday events in the past, and they don't get anything out of that other than making the game a little bit more enjoyable for us. Right, we are ready, Trav, so we're going to be following you. We're going to try to keep up with them. I really wish I had a Sopod on, but we'll do our best. So Bracknar said that he suspended every account that Gluing touched. He touched those accounts. He violated them, making it sound kind of dirty. Salos, he does have Salos. The problem is he's not overweight, and I am. So if he slows down every so often, I can keep up. If he doesn't, I kind of fall behind. But at the same time,
I need to start twisting in a strength song for you.
I'm just, that overweight. I don't even think the strength song would really help. But at the same time, we really don't want to stop, because last time we stopped, actually last couple of times we stopped,
Yeah.
we got overwhelmed with mobs very quickly.
Can you lev and just run up a wall?
Could do that. Is this his corpse? He's tracking the wrong corpse.
At least we know he can find corpses.
Kind of a fun night, though, man. A night traveling through Trakanon. Getting some rain gone. Some thunder in the background. Getting to know the inhabitants of the zone quite well. Oh, here we are. That was not that far in from the wall. Come on, Trev. You are a magnet, dude. Chris, you did run right through those mobs. There he is. Let's see him.
Do you guys know if they use damage shields in Soul E?
The shamans might, but I don't remember it being horrible.
Oh, you don't know horrible until you got 2 Master Blue sticks with fucking some ace gloves, and then they have damage shield, and you just start ripping into a thing. 2 attacks and double attack. It's just a nightmare.
That's true. I didn't have any haste gloves on my guy when I was doing my monk, so if you have all of that, you should have no problem soloing those guys there. You just want to make sure you have bandages. You can buy them out in the goblin camp or the whatever it is, the gypsy camp outside. And then, of course, your mend should be more than enough.
Yeah, I got the silver something.
Silver kite and hand wraps?
Silver kitten. What is it?
Chitin?
Chitin?
Yeah, that's
silver
right.
chitin.
Supposedly that's the way you pronounce it. I got in
I'm going with shitten because that's a really terrible.
Chitin is the way I would pronounce that word, but if you look it up, that's chitin is the way everybody says you're supposed to do it, and people are kind of
like that's almost as terrible though. Like
it is. People are picky, man. They want it pronounced a certain way, otherwise they get very angry. So I try to appease them as much as possible. You know, spirit of wolf, sow, so Kinos, Quanos.
Okay. Tomato.
Yeah.
But still, they're boss gloves. It cost me a pretty penny.
Oh yeah, like what, 2-3K?
I think I got him for 2K. It might have been 2.5. Basically, just had to kill giants for a couple minutes, but they're perfect.
Yeah, FPSS is what I want to kind of upgrade to down the road, or maybe the Cloak of Flames.
I think the wouldn't you just get the epic? Doesn't the or does that epic that stacks?
It stacks, yeah, because the oh crap, we're gonna get out of here. Yeah, because the other one is a bard song, and that's a worn item.
Nice.
Oh man, another keeper. I guess she can't move yet. Yeah, we're gonna have to sit here and tank it until she can move. There she goes.
You should take the bacon out of your pockets.
They're not coming after me. They're coming after these guys. I'll give you a soap pot off my Cleric. Actually, I have the money to buy soap pots. It's one of those things. I don't make it back to town enough to sit at the East Common tunnels and snag a pot here and there like I should. Want to know who got banned for buying from Clue? That's the real dirt. Whoever they are, they're not going to advertise. I heard some people talking about it, and they said that Bragnar was kind of implying that he wasn't very good at it as far as selling stuff. Like, he was very... I don't know. It was kind of like, here's the plat, here's the item, without even trying any of the tricks of the trade of people who do that kind of stuff. So not a professional, just kind of...
Not drop in on the ground. Or...
yeah, or whatever the techniques they use.
Something.
He was just like, no, the trade window, very easy to find, and boom, there it is. I should have J-Boots. J-Boots are on the list, but for my Cleric, one of the first things I want to get is the Epic. And it's like 10, 15K for a heart. So I'm saving up for that. And then once that's done, ideally I would love to get a Bracer of the Hidden, because healing rogues totally blows when you can't actually see them. And then J-Boots might be a thing down the road, but... They just had a ton of resources, probably didn't think. Might have been. I'm not sure why somebody with so much to lose would risk it all, but clearly he did. Lost it all.
Sounds like a good song you should write down and you contact him then.
As long as it's not me singing. Sounds like a country song, though.
I sort of like thought you might start to break out and you know, what was it? Lose the moment, whatever that. Clearly, I'm such a huge Eminem fan.
Listen to what Lita is. Not too much. Time. He comes up with something really good. Did like him in the interview. That was really funny. He came out and said he was gay, and you know that whole yeah, like comedy role that you don't really see him in that often, and he did it with a straight face. So yeah, I thought he did well.
Yeah, that was a good, quick 2 minutes. That was a nice role.
I mean, it was short, but it made me laugh.
Yeah, there's very few like cameos that are so unexpected and just really kill it. That maybe like Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder kind of thing.
Yeah. Although he turned a small role into something bigger because the way he played that role in Tropic Thunder. They even had him at the end doing like this dance or something, and I'm like, wow, like this character was so liked by the audiences. Oh, there's Erica right there. Got Terrafina coming out to save us.
That like weeks, maybe even months before, would just like shit on Tom Cruise. Like, oh no, we released another Mission Impossible movie. He's such a terrible actor. He's nuts. And then this comes out, and they're like, I love that guy. He's so funny.
I try not to get wrapped up in what they do off camera. Everybody has something. Like everybody's hiding a skeleton in their closet somewhere. Some of them are worse than others, absolutely. But I don't know, if they can make me laugh on screen, I don't really care if they're weird off camera, as long as they're not doing anything illegal. If they're not breaking the law, then they can be as weird as they want. Yeah, no.
The Bill Murray cameo in Zombieland was just totally out of left field and awesome.
Oh yeah, so there's another good one. Bill Murray.
It was, but it was kind of heartbreaking because I love the guy so much, and then to see him, like, I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen that one, but yeah, it's like, don't take him out.
Was perfect.
Oh man, I didn't.
That was just such a. I feel like he might have asked them to do that because like it just worked so well for his personality.
Just since he milked it so good.
I mean, they even had Rob Lowe in the interview as well, where he was like losing his hair. His was even shorter than Eminem's.
The interview was a pretty underrated movie. Like, I think it was one of those you have to appreciate that style of comedy, Seth Rogen style, I guess.
It got banned, didn't it? Like North Korea threatened the movie theaters, and they gave in. And
I thought that was just a promotional stunt.
Oh, it could have been. I don't know. I don't pay too much attention to those. Just kind of heard about it on the news.
Too many theaters because of that.
I disbelieve too many things right off the bat, I think. That's don't trust my word. You could be like, we cured cancer. I'm like, nah, you're lying.
As long as it's not like the not Bruce Willis, World War Z, I think, where they cure cancer and.
Oh, and then it actually like
zombie apocalypse.
Oh, you know what? Where they cured cancer? That was Will Smith in Legend.
Oh, you're right. It was the other zombie movie.
And then I don't know. Did they cure cancer? Was that what they were doing there? I thought someone released, like, they knew there was a virus, so like there was even like Israel or someplace, Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. They were gonna build a wall because we know they're gonna be releasing this virus.
Yeah, the theory of like the 12th man out or something. If everybody says it couldn't happen, he has to go under the assumption it is happening. It's kind of a nice theory. I don't know in practice if that actually would work or not, because you have some absolutely crazy things you're going to be looking into and can't prove. Tara, we are actually in a Discord if you want to join us in there. You don't have to if you don't want to, if you don't feel up for talking, but See, just port us to EJ and we could run back. Would be faster than running. Absolutely. And would probably be safer for these guys. You guys have a favorite genre of movies? Are you guys big into zombies or vampires or sci-fi? Like, what's your thing?
I like a lot of movies, but I will say my favorite movies, two of the favorite, probably Fifth Element and Hackers. So
Nice.
maybe 90s guy.
Some really good movies in the 90s. You don't see too many movies like Hackers these days, though. Little dated.
Too serious.
Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah. A little bit. Not as much comedy.
Oh, it's getting busy up in here.
Good to see if we can help them get their keys over here. She got another mob. Oh, is that what you think it was, Zen? You think maybe he just quit playing or knew he was on his way out and he's like, let me see if I can make a couple quick bucks before I do? Well, he didn't put that much effort into it if that was the case. Not sure how long he was at it, but it sounded like he got caught like day one almost. Though I do remember on live, they came a point, I believe it was somewhere after Planes of Power, when the population start going to other games, World of Warcraft, Dark Ages of Camelot, you know, Star Wars Online, a number of other ones, that people were selling their accounts on, like, eBay, and they're like, you know, 8 level 60s, blah, 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 equipment, selling it for, you know, $3,000, $4,000. These guys? Are they here? Did they run to us, Trev? It sounds like they might have been running to where we were, and then we evac'd out. Elizabeth just gave a hint. Forger southwest on track. Yeah, we want to be at the swamp. So they're going to go to the swamp? I believe that's this way, isn't it?
No, it's this way.
I'm following you. Yeah, it seems like these guys are having a little bit of trouble with their stuff, and I think I lost you.
Just keep going south. It eventually takes you to the lake. Have a forager on track.
Yeah, if you want to pull it for them, but they probably could use a little bit of a helping hand here.
Okay, incoming. I'll just run back to the lake.
You want them to kill at the lake? Because I think they're all at the zone line.
I thought we were going there. I thought we were going to the lake. They said something about having to go to the swamp.
The swamp zone line, right? Swamp of No Hope?
Oh, that's what they meant? That's kind of far out.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure why they're pulling it over here.
That's too far out.
I'll bring them over.
Well, they have a choice. They can either stay at the zone line or be at the lake. The lake is easiest, in my opinion.
I'll bring it with me. I'm bringing 2 of them anyways. I don't know where the third one is. Might have to go back and get him.
Yeah, I just have it rooted.
And we are at the lake. What side of the lake are you on?
I guess it's the right side of the lake.
Coming from the entrance?
Yeah, I'm where we were running.
Alright, well, I went down the right side. I don't see you.
I can track you guys.
I mean, it's a circle, so we'll meet up somewhere. That's the Frogwood Shaman. Would use F9, but I went into the water, and that kind of messes up your F9 ability. Breaks your center of gravity, or whatever it is, focus. I'm not seeing any anywhere on this side. Alright, we have officially done a giant circle around the lake.
My track is saying you're straight ahead, so I think you might be across from me. You might have to swim over. Just cross the lake.
Cross the lake where? We just did a circle around it.
Okay, I'm tracking you. The guy's rooted, he's probably gonna break pretty soon, so he'll just follow me.
Travis said run around the right-hand side of the lake. That's the side that we went down.
Okay, now it says you're behind me.
They were inside. We're inside the house all along.
This isn't going as well as I thought it would.
Yeah, you guys sound like you're having a little bit of difficulty with this tracking. Is this still the
Okay,
room?
maybe
Or-
stop?
Yeah, we're not moving.
Okay.
There you are.
It's right behind me.
Yeah, it seems weird though, even if he did quit the game or planned on doing so, to leave like that. Now, it wouldn't be the first person to do it. There was a guild way back when that woke up the sleeper and then left the game.
Toss me some HP bust me can, you see?
Oh, absolutely. What level are you?
I am a little over halfway through 52.
Okay, we can take age then. There you go. These guys are actually getting some experience out of this. Man, they're pieces. Hey, Trav, if you're still listening, how many more of these do you need? Do you need us to pull several? Maybe not we. It's more of a terror thing right there, but...
I got another forager on track.
Yeah, if you want to snag it for them. Let's see what they say here in a minute. We'll stay right here. Nah, she already has hers. Need 2 more foragers and 2 more hunters. They wanted to kind of just roam through the zone and fight them where they're at. That's brave. I see some 60 bards that have a hard time doing that. You know, now that I'm looking at the map, this is a really good spot. This is where people tend to pull them to. Anywhere along the river is a good spot.
And they're not social, so the other frogs won't help if they're getting pulled.
Unless you run right through them. Which can always be a possibility in this zone. This is kind of a pain in the butt to get through. I would say more of the credit to Tara than to myself. I tend to sit my butt on the side of a mountain and heal anybody who happens to die. And less the actual tracking. That's more of the experience. Looks like Tara might be taking some damage. You need to...
I'm a slow swimmer.
You want us to go to the other side of the river?
No, it's fine.
So how you been, by the way, Tara? We haven't heard from you in a while. Have you been working a lot lately, or playing some new horror games that we haven't got to see yet?
I've just been lazy this whole week.
It's that transition between winter and summer. Your body doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I didn't have to work this past week. But yeah, I've just been really freaking lazy, and it got pretty warm, which is nice. And the leaves are budding.
It's nice for you guys because you don't get too warm up there. I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to having like beach weather again, but you know, before too long, it's just gonna be miserable. So enjoying the few weeks that we have decent weather while we got it.
Yeah, my mom goes back to work tomorrow. Things are going back to normal.
How's she doing, by the way? I know things have been rough over there.
She finished her physical therapy, so I mean, the doctor said it's probably gonna be like around 8 more weeks until she like feels completely back to normal.
Yeah.
But she's able to walk and do everything, and she can withstand, standing for a while.
It's good though. I mean, I messed up my knee during football when I was in college, and at the time the thought was you want to rest it up. You don't want to put too much pressure on it. You don't want to really do anything with it. And what ended up happening with me is it kind of locked up. It was a lot rougher on the therapy than it is now, where they like almost immediately out of surgery they start making you do stretching and getting used to the way your knee works again. So hopefully when she goes back to work, that will be that progression of stretching out those muscles, getting them used to the way they are.
Yeah, I mean, she's supposed to be still doing exercises even though she's finished with her PT. So I don't know, I think as long as she just keeps it up, she'll be back to her old self.
Yeah, you don't want it to get too stiff. Although my knee's never been the same. Same thing with my ankle. I don't know how many of you guys have, sprained or broken your ankles before. Never quite feels as strong. Looking back, I don't think football was worth it. I like the sport. I still like watching it, but back problems, knee problems. Now you look at all the concussions that are a thing. So maybe I have that to look forward to one day where my brain just stops working.
Injuries just get worse as you get older.
What'd you guys say?
Fortunately, those injuries just get worse while you get older.
That's what I keep hearing. So, like, I don't seem to have any problems with that yet. But, who knows? Like, apparently it turns to, like, cement or something in there, and parts of your brain just stop being used. And my brain's pretty bad as it is. Or at least my memory is.
Now that they know that they should be looking for things like that, as long as you get yearly checkups and physicals, whatever, once occasionally I see it.
Yeah, but even
TI, whatever it's called now.
Even if they're looking for it, as far as I'm aware, they don't have any like actual cure or procedure to stop it.
There's nothing you can do because your brain's encased in your head in a bunch of liquid, and it gets slammed and rattled around in there and gets damaged.
Yeah. They're doing research, though, and as anything, technology does get better, so maybe they will find a way to fix it, I hope, because it probably will affect me at some point. I was a lineman for all my time in junior high, high school, and in college, so I definitely got some hits in there.
No, I mean, they can have better helmets, but your brain's still going to slam in your skull.
I always try to hit with my shoulder and not with my head, but there was a few times where you'd butt head to head going full speed, and you'd feel dizzy. You're laying down, the world is spinning around you. You don't know how long you're there before you stand back up. And
You don't know who you are and where you are and what's going on.
I never got that bad.
I've played lacrosse, and I had teammates who had either hit people or been hit themselves, and they like, I'm
Yeah.
not ready for school. Dude, what? The color is blue. Don't move. I think you're damaged.
Yeah, I would say so. I am probably a lot more fortunate than I think I am, because never quite got to that point, thankfully.
Well, two people have had, like, when I played in high school, I had one guy on my team get hit so hard, the ref called for a flag on the other guy, and the same thing on one of my teammates. It's like, sometimes it gets pretty brutal, because it's unlike football in many cases where like you're lined up and you know you're about to hit somebody.
Yeah.
It's more like that random sack or the blitz that catches the quarterback off guard. It's brutal. I still think you're probably way worse because you're just constantly hitting your head, like hitting the pads. I don't know when you played, but just the rules have changed in the last 10, 15 years, sure. But when I was in high school, people were definitely hitting them too low, not enough on the shoulder.
I mean, you tried the shoulder just because it felt better than hitting in the head. It's not something you enjoyed as a lineman, but it happened. And, people being stupid as kids would, a lot of the time...
Or somebody.
Well, that, or you'd hit your head against somebody else's head to, like, psych yourself up. And I did that a number of times, so... It's going to come back to haunt me. But you don't listen when you're a kid. Everybody tells you it's going to mess up your body, and you're just like, whatever, I feel fine.
Yeah.
5 years later, you can barely walk. It was fun, though. I mean, I had really good experiences on the football field. I had really good experience with the teammates that I was out there with. And I live in Texas, so Texas is all about football. In fact, it was kind of funny. Before we got hit with Harvey, we built a stadium in the neighborhood that's just right next to mine. And it is bigger than any high school stadium out there. It's a high school stadium that we built it for. And it is, I think, in the top 5 of college stadiums, even though it's not a college stadium. It's huge. It's massive in every proportion. And then when we got hit with Harvey, the Army Corps of Engineers and the Red Cross turned it into their base of operations because it's that big. So they need 2 hunters and 1 forger, and you've already gotten them.
No, just 1 forager.
Just 1 forger, that's. Thank you for coming out here and helping us out here. This is amazing.
No props.
So you haven't been playing any games? No Resident Evil? No,
No, I've just kind of been vegging out.
new TV shows?
Not really. Just on YouTube and stuff, and
There's a new TV show I was kind of exposed to not too long ago called Final Space. It's a cartoon. Has more of a, like a...
What do you watch that on? Because I've only seen like the first portion of the first episode or something. I've been meaning to watch it. It looks so awesome.
I've heard it was on Netflix. My brother actually brought him over on a thumb drive where I watched him. He was like, hey, you gotta watch this show. It cracked me up. And I was like, all right, give it a shot. And some of the times I like what he watches, some of them not so much. But that one definitely was pretty cool. That was very well done. And the comedy in it is a little bit more, like I said, adult themed. It does make some references to, some sexual content every once in a while, but I don't know, it's hilarious. It just cracks me up.
It's very Rick and Morty with a different animation style, but similar. And like, I've been looking for it, but I can't. I don't. I have Netflix, but I don't see it on there.
It might not be. I was told it was, but I haven't actually looked for it myself.
That could also be like a regional thing, because I had to stream the new Star Trek series, which is actually on Netflix. Unless you're from the United States, and it's not on Netflix.
I did watch the new Star Trek series, and that isn't. It's a weird concept because I mean, are you a Star Trek fan?
I watched everything pretty much. I watched I started with Next Generation. I didn't see the old one, but I did Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, some of the with Archer.
What?
The Enterprise, what it's called.
So you're familiar with the way they tend to do it, where basically they follow like the space station or the ship, right? Like that's the main focus is like the ship, and then of course
Yes.
each one of the different crew members sometimes get their own episodes, and they kind of expand upon people that are there. But mainly, the ship or the space station is where everything happens, right? Like that's their focus. This one,
it's all episodic and focusing around an environment instead of an individual crew member.
right? And this one's different. This one focuses on one person, and wherever that one person goes, the show follows. Period. So when they try to give episodes to other people to expand their storyline and their character development, it's still following her. From her point of view, always from her point of view. So they did
I think it's a good show, but I just don't like the timeline that they're going for, and they're messing up with continuity when they do it with all the stuff that happened afterwards that they got to do all this extra work for. Where if they would have just put it after Next Generation in the timeline.
This thing, they threw it in the timeline with the newer Star Trek stuff, so it's not even mingled or mixed with any of the other old things. It's just, if you watch the new movies, this is a new Star Trek series for you.
well,
They're
that's
just making extra work for themselves. It's the whole drive that they have that they. I mean.
well, I didn't want to
think
get
it
into
would be-
specifics yet because he hasn't seen it. So
Oh,
mention of it even all the way up into Next Generation when it seemed pretty damn important.
I think
Yeah,
there
this
are
is-
some crossovers, but that's
this
the whole
is
problem.
totally not in the same. Ever since they did the whole thing in the movie where Uhura says, "Oh, we've created an alternate timeline." Yeah, that was
Yeah, I didn't care for that either, but this one is kind of a cross between the two because they are making mentions to things that happened in the timeline that we're aware of, with the Next Gen, Voyager, and all that. But at the same time, it's different. So there's, like you said, the continuity errors and more work on their behalf trying to figure out the crossover bleeding effect. And then, of course, if they're not following the ship, they're following her. It was kind of a weird aspect. I mean, you may like that. I thought it was just kind of strange that they did it that way. I mean, for example, there was an episode in there where the engineer is doing a Groundhog's Day, and I won't get into like specifics on what was happening, but they were showing what probably should have been his episode from her point of view. Like he had to get her to do everything for him instead of just showing him do it. Was it the medic? Okay. It was weird. I don't know.
wasn't it? Was it the
It's the
black
blonde
guy
hair?
or the
Blonde hair
guy?
Yeah.
Was it blonde hair? Oh yeah, then that is the engineer. I'm terrible with that.
I don't know. I'm still kind of torn. I don't know if it's going to be good or not. I don't know if I like the way it's going yet or not, but
Oh, you haven't finished the series?
no. I can only watch like the first 6 or 7 episodes. I got more into Orville. Like, I think Orville is more Star Trek than the Star Trek show right now.
Yeah.
Orville's hilarious as shit.
Yeah.
But I still hate the fact that Seth, whatever his name is, crap. But I still hate the fact that he tries so hard on some of the episodes to make like a political statement.
Well, I think that's what they're making fun of, because it is a parody of Star Trek. Every episode in Star Trek kind of looking
You see
back,
the
he tried to
episode
do
with
that
like the
right.
cell phone in the boating?
The cell phone and the what?
They came to a planet where everyone had a cell phone, and whenever something happened, it would be posted onto like this interweb, and you could vote yes or no to whether or not they should be punished.
I did. It was kind of cool. I like the idea. Like, they're taking it over the top, obviously, with where social media is kind of delved into, but it kind of is like that, though, too, when somebody gets accused of something on TV, whether they're guilty of it or not. Like, we vote for it in social media. They're found guilty in our eyes before they even go to court.
Oh, absolutely. Like, he's making very apt statements, but I like his humor when he's just making jokes about like penis bombs and shit like that.
The robot kind of cracked me up, too, when he did the whole, like, getting back at the... what is that guy? Is he the navigator or the... I don't even know.
The Irish
leg?
guy? The guy
Yeah.
with the... Yeah, he's a pilot.
He's the pilot. He doesn't have a big role, but he took the guy's leg off and hit it somewhere on the ship. I mean, you know, the technology in that future universe that they've created is obviously more than what we have now, so that's probably not a huge problem for him to fix it, but...
No, that was great. Isaac got him good.
It's like a robot, dude. You don't play a practical joke on them because they don't quite get it. And what they do to you is pretty severe.
Yeah.
Mr. Potato Head and everything. I'm curious to see where they go with it. If it stays on the air, yeah, I hope it does. Been sorely lacking
I
sci-fi
think I
shows.
finished the first season. I'm not sure if there's any more episodes.
Not yet.
After a while. Last one was I think Isaac went down. It's been a couple of weeks or something. Isaac went down to like a planet, and the planet was skipping like 700 years every phase shift of some sort of thing. Awful.
I may have missed that one.
Wow, it was a good episode. But it was kind of weird because, like I said, they try to do really political statements. So it was an episode about like Kelly and he likes to really fringe on the religious worship is nonsensical, like
With
comedy
the enemy that they're getting into now, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they need more good sci-fi shows out there. Altered Carbon was one I was watching for a little bit, but
solid.
they
9
just,
out of 10 would recommend.
heck yeah, man. It's just one season. Don't watch it with your kids, though. It's a little more adult themed for sex scenes and everything else.
Blood everywhere.
On a few episodes, not all of them.
Okay, not all of them. There's at least 2 scenes. That the early scene with Poe, the hotel manager. I don't know if you saw the
Oh, I saw all of them.
the hospital scene where he gets out of the thing. Oh, no spoilers, but damn, he messes people up, and it's brutal.
Yeah, when you said blood everywhere, I thought of the hotel scene. It's right off the bat. It's the first thing that entered my brain.
Yeah, it's basically that, and then I think the other one I can really think of is the hospital that he gets in. Do you know that where like they take him to that?
To torture him in his brain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the crap they're doing on the table to the body next to him. So like he wakes up and just goes nuts. That was beautiful.
It's a nice universe they created. I mean, definitely not a universe I'd want to live in, but they're very thoughtful and very detailed in creating this universe that seemed to make sense. I think that is a Netflix original, too.
They set it up so that it's like a. You watch American Horror Story?
I have not seen that one.
Well, so the guy that was the main character this season may not come back next season.
Well, they don't have to because of the way it works in that universe. You know, you can change bodies, and it's just a
Exactly.
personality. So as long as the actor is willing to portray a certain type of personality, it could be anybody.
Yeah, so they can just keep, you know, James Bond, James Bond, James Bond. And this time it'll actually make sense.
As long as the personality stays the same, like the James Bond ones, every James Bond has their own personality they bring to the table. But for the situation in that one, they're going to have to get the ideograms right. They're going to have to get the movements and the, you know, just like the small details that a lot of the actors can mimic when it comes to somebody else. But hey, you guys out there watching, if you guys have recommendations on TV shows, definitely looking for a good one lately.
You watch any of the Black Mirrors?
Yeah, I watched all of those. That's something I got into maybe a month ago for the very first time. Somebody kind of explained it to me as it was a Twilight or Outer Limits type of show. And it does have that vibe to it. But I think it's more of a Outer Limits than a Twilight Zone, because they, after a certain point, they actually start all connecting to each other. Like they're creating an overall universe that they all kind of belong in. Even though every episode is kind of a standalone.
Have you seen anything? There's a show called Anon.
No, I haven't heard that one.
It's on Netflix. I'm not sure. It's something about like some. Don't take my word for it on this trailer, but some chick is like a hacker person and trying to go around doing, you know, I guess like good stuff, like Robin Hood kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a Clive Owen. No, Clive. So some other relatively known actor is like an FBI agent or somebody chasing her down. It's like a series, but using more of a. It was a new episode, new thing on Netflix. It looked kind of interesting, but
So does it look like a cop show with a little bit of technology mixed in there, or does it look more
Yeah.
like a dramatization of like Hackers, Side of Point?
I think it's more like a CSI with in the sense that it's a nice drama between the cop and the hacker. But once again, I briefly watched a trailer for it the other day, and like the only thing that was cool was all the special effects they were throwing in.
I'll have to definitely check it out. I like computer stuff, so anything that can kind of show me where computers are going. You could always rewatch Firefly. Tig, I have rewatched that show numerous times. The TV show, maybe not so much the movie. The movie was okay, but they killed off so many of the great actors that I wanted to see keep progressing with that story. It's a shame it was only one season. That, Babylon 5, Star Trek, those are my go-tos. Stargate. Throw those in there.
Stargate Atlantis. You know what they need to make? As much as I love a lot of sci-fi shows, they need to make a Stargate universe season 2.
They might. They do a lot of, redos and continuations nowadays. I don't really see them doing it with TV shows.
Yeah, but Stargate Universe was kind of like weird with where they left it off. Did you watch that one?
I wasn't a big fan of the Universe one. I thought it was more of like a Battlestar. Did you watch the Battlestar one that they came out with that was a remake?
I watched a little bit of it. It was okay. It was solid.
They brought in, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't really my thing. They brought in a lot of the actors and writers when that show went off the air.
The older one, but it was like campy and lighthearted, whereas the new one was
right,
darker and serious.
And that's kind of what I like. I like the campy, lighthearted. I like to be able to laugh. I like the cheesiness. I get home from a long day at work. Most of the time, I just want to laugh. I just want to sit back and relax. Did I ever watch Farscape? I did watch Farscape. It's okay. I wasn't a huge fan of it. The actor, I think, in that movie or in that TV show Definitely isn't one of my favorites, and he actually took over for the guys on Star Trek. Not Star Trek, Stargate.
Yeah.
I liked her though, the one that came over with him. She's pretty good. Vala.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she was always cool because I loved her. She was a Pathfinder on Farscape. I thought like she was such a cool, early on, strong woman lead. You know, early before like Carter or anybody else came on sci-fi.
Red Dwarf. Now, Red Dwarf is something I've heard of, but I haven't seen. Let me check that out real quick.
Person of interest. Not too sci-fi, but definitely cool technology kind of stuff too.
Very funny.
It's a British sci-fi comedy. Now, this might be a little sketchy for me because I have never really quite gotten the English sense of humor, such as some of their big shows. But I'll give it a shot for sure. Hopefully this will be one of the first ones.
Definitely start at the beginning.
Oh, well, yeah. Where else would you start? You got to start on episode 1.
Familiar with Blackadder?
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it. Blackadder.
It's kind of a historical comedy. It's in a different era, Victorian age, World War I.
I mean, I like older stuff. Ben Browder, I thought was good. Ben Browder. I have a lot of tabs open. Oh, that's the name of the guy that was from the show. Okay. And I wasn't really a huge fan of his. You know, he's coming after O'Neill, Richard Dean Anderson. It's big shoes to fill, I think, in my opinion. Watch MacGyver as a kid, kind of watch Stargate as an adult.
You know, the guy that went on to do Stargate Atlantis, I think, did a really good job of, like, I think he would have filled O'Neill's, Richard Dean Anderson's shoes really well.
I think he could have, because he was just kind of the same character. He's a little plucky, a little, you know, rubbing the man the wrong ways. O'Neill would put it in the show every once in a while, and
just a younger version of O'Neill, really. It was well done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they copied and pasted the team. Like, it wasn't... They weren't trying to hide it. They had their O'Neill, they had their Tilk, they had the whole shebang there. Only character that they really changed up was Carter's, yeah. She was just a well-rounded, very thoughtful kind of individual, and they gave it to McKay instead, and the exact opposite night and day difference of their personalities.
I used to like Daniel for that like role, the nerdy role, but McKay's whiny little pain in the butt role. I loved it.
I like both of them. I did like the guy that replaced Daniel for 1 or 2 seasons. I think it might have like been a season and a half or something, but the guy from the other planet.
Oh, right. When Daniel had ascended, is that what happened?
Yeah.
The other guy, like...
Or he got off the show because he thought he was going to be able to make other stuff. He did a few Twilight Zone episodes and didn't really work out for him, so he came back.
He did get married around that time, too, to that hot chick from the Andromeda show. So he probably thought he was hot shit.
Maybe. I mean, everybody always... Same thing that happened to Wesley on Star Trek Next Generation. He thought he was going to be everything, and... You know, he's a good guy. He still does stuff, but yeah, he definitely didn't become like an Arnold Schwarzenegger A-lister kind of thing. Battlestar Galactica. I love the first one, the original. Sequel, the remake version of it was a little bit too much about who was sleeping with who, and I mean they had robots in that one that looked like humans, which is why they were able to do that, because then you had like spies, and you know the original Cylons You can spot him a mile away. Person of interest is what Simple Minded said. I think one of you guys mentioned that one as well. Former CIA agent Reese, now presumed dead, and a billionaire software genius, Flinch, joined forces as a vigilante crime-fighting team using Finch's programs, which employ pattern recognition to determine individuals who will soon be involved in violent crimes. So kind of like that Tom Cruise movie, where he could see into the future and get people before they do stuff?
More like he sort of where they have a computer that's watching through all of the cameras and everything. They don't really have control over it, and it feeds them a name. And they don't know if the person is a victim or a perpetrator, so they have to like follow them, build a profile, and most of the time they're saving somebody from what ends up being like a larger plot.
Right.
That only just computer could figure out.
I'll definitely take a look at it, because I already have like a gazillion questions on like why they can't know if it's going to be a victim or the perpetrator if it's a computer program. But I bet they explain it in the show quite well.
They do a great job with a lot of it.
Yeah. Let's see. Did somebody die? It wasn't past the gate or anything when it came on track, maybe halfway down the pillars. It's more east than I thought possible. They're just looking for one more pool.
No, I got the foreigner on track. It's like wherever everything is.
You need me to go with?
No, I should be okay.
You got Harmony, right? You can always throw that down. If you got the mana. If you're running low, they might come back and met up a little bit. Unless that's you sitting right next to me.
No, there it is.
Person of interest is good too, at least the first few seasons. That's how Eureka was. I loved the first few seasons of Eureka.
Oh, so good.
And then they did a time travel thing and made Douglas Fargo in charge, and it just kind of went like a weird route after that.
You know, I didn't really like the guy that was in charge early on because of the whole like relationship between him and Carter.
Yeah.
But damn, I was so pissed when he was off the show. Like, he was not the protagonist, but he was essential to that like trio working well.
I think so too, because he played a smart guy rather well, but he was also charming, but kind of annoyed every so often, but never really got it out of control. And that was like the right kind of leadership that you needed in charge of something like that. And some of those characters just have chemistry. Some of them don't. Douglas Fargo, why it was entertaining to have him always be the guy that pushed the button for some odd reason. Having him in charge of
why
everything.
they had to have him as like, oh, we don't have enough funny, oh, this person's gonna be the butt of a joke thing.
It's like they thought
Yeah,
they
I got rooted.
Oh, you're gonna die? How far out are you?
I'm around where the pillar is for sub.
Ooh, that's pretty far away.
Yeah, that one spawned kind of far out.
Are you gonna make it, or do you want me to start running over there?
That'd be fun. Off, but it won't, so.
Alright, I'm gonna start running over.
Yeah, it's right where you, pass the...
It's the fallen
You know how
pillar?
it is when you're running to sub. No, it's not the fallen pillar, it's, that big wall with the arches in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's right around there. In fact, I could probably just drag it.
Oh, I'm coming. Sure,
I also like the fact that when they had Fargo as the assistant to that other guy, those two weren't doing a lot of the experiments, whereas when Fargo became lead, he was doing a lot of experiments.
because he was more of a, the scientist guy. He wasn't admin. You need an administration guy in charge.
Yeah. You needed the admin, but you also needed, it's fine having him be a science guy, but then it was almost every single story seemed to be Fargo was doing some kind of experiment, went wrong, Carter's got to solve it, somehow him and whatever the girl's name was have to have some kind of awkward yet close relationship.
I think it's the writers. It's the curse of trying to come up with something interesting every week to do. And
Actually, if you could drag my corpse to the EJ zone line, and maybe if you guys could relocate there, it'd probably be a little easier
Yeah.
for me to pull it to you since it's so close to sub.
I mean, if you want, we
We'll
can
see.
move the whole group
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah,
They
that's
had
what
so
I'm
many
saying.
cool ideas throughout the whole entire seasons, like just left and right, throwing stuff out. Don't even care if they're mixing words. It was like, wait a second, science everywhere. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, the first couple seasons was amazing. And they went time travel. They jumped the shark. Time travel for me is jumping the shark. Anytime they use time travel in a TV show or a movie, it kind of tells me that they have no idea what to do.
So Voyager was really just all over the place for you then.
Voyager didn't do too much with the time travel, did they? Like just 1 or 2 episodes every once in a while, and they even made fun of it too in that one where Janeway was like, "I hate time travel. Don't get me started on it. Don't have a conversation with me about it. I don't want to debate why it worked out the way it worked out. It's done. Let's move on."
Yeah, I think they got tired of it because they really did do too. They had within the first 10 episodes, they came across a system that was being attacked by some ship that was like systematically time deleting stuff.
Was that in the first season? I thought that didn't happen until like season 2 or 3 or something. It was before what's her name joined 7 of 9, so it's like before 5. But
I thought it was I thought it was the first season when they had like that. It was some race that had figured out how to use the I don't know what particle.
trying to bring his wife back, I think, and he has that little piece of hair.
Yeah. He was trying to like delete different planets until he could bring his wife back. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That one.
yeah.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Well, and he also had to make his empire strong again. Like he got very close to bringing his wife back a few times, but his country was kind of decimated.
Well, you know what? You know what the real thing was that it was Red. Red from that '70s show.
Oh yeah, his dad, the actor you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you died by the first pillar or the second pillar?
I actually don't know which one it was, but if you went along the wall, you should see it.
So before you get to the big archway that leads you into the courtyard, it's along the wall.
Yeah, it's one of those archways. I died like right in front.
In front of one of the archways. But not the archway that's leading into the courtyard of Seb,
No.
right? Okay. Trav, yeah, if you can track corpse, let me know like what direction it's in.
Oh, you know, the Doctor is also from Star Trek Voyager. He was the guy that played on Star Trek Atlantis. Oh, actually, in Stargate. Oh, sorry, Stargate Atlantis, and all in Stargate the original.
I believe, yeah, Mr. Woolsey, I think is his name.
Yeah, Woolsey.
He came over from Stargate, I guess the original or whatever it's called, but, the one with Richard Dean Anderson in it. He was also, like, whatever they call it. What was the evil organization that was the civilian run? Like the
OAI?
yeah, something weird. I can't remember the initials, but, like, he was in there a couple of times. I think he was off planet when the bugs got out, along with that Chinese girl that later went to Universe. I think she was on Universe.
Oh yes, she's actually. Oh god. Yeah, she plays like a senator or something in Universe, or some kind of diplomatic. She's just always really annoying in Universe.
So she was kind of annoying in that other one too, but that was the role she was playing.
I think she's now in. I think it's the same character in Marvel's Agents of Shield, and now she just goes around kicking everyone's ass.
So she's an action star now. That's kind of cool. You never know what you're gonna get with the roles that you gotta play. We're still looking forward to her. We got our bar tracking it right now.
Yeah, I'm running in that direction.
Oh yeah, we don't have to fight these guys. We can just root and scoot.
Yeah, she was in Stargate Universe, and oh, wow, she was even on Eureka too.
I don't remember her on Eureka, but she probably was. Yeah, if you get onto a show on the Sci-Fi Channel, they like to reuse you again and again and again. So anything's possible.
Yeah, they got this one guy. He's quite possibly one of my favorite actors from Supernatural. I can't remember his name. It's gonna kill me. But he's like used as the bad guy all the time. It's great.
They said that about the guy who played Apophis on Stargate. He's the actor they used? I forgot. I think for Raw, and they said he was just so fantastic to work with that when they finally killed off his character, they're just like, how can we create another character that he can play?
Did they use that guy? Is that the guy they used for
The one that's wearing the hood all the time?
Yeah, the one that's wearing the hood. Is he the one that
Yeah.
is in the new not the new series, but Night at the Museum? I don't know why. I feel like one of the
I don't
either
think
Raw
so.
or Set or somebody was
Not
the same
the
actor.
not the original one, right? Like the guy that comes out of the mummy case is the one you're talking about?
What do you mean for
For Night of the Museum?
Stargate or Night at the Museum 2? The actor, he's also in Hackers.
Who was he in Hackers?
No, not Hackers. Sorry, he's in Mr. Robot. He plays a hacker.
Oh, I'm going to see Mr. Robo. Who was he in Night of the Museum too?
He was the Pharaoh's son. He was the guy with the tablet. But I could also be completely wrong, and he might not have ever been in Stargate.
I mean, I'm pretty good with faces. I'm horrible with names, but I'm not thinking that he was. I'll have to look it up on IMDb to be absolutely sure, though.
Well, I got the what is her name? Hold on. Her name is Ming Na Wen.
That's the one that we were talking about earlier from all those crossovers.
Yeah, she did. She was like in everything as well.
You guys got the corpse? Because I don't see anything.
I might have died in the air. I was lucky.
Oh, he has the corpse. If you want to give Trav consent. Oh, no, I see it. It's way up in the air. That dog like 500 feet up there.
Malik, no, Rami Malik. Yeah, he wasn't in Stargate.
I don't think you were quite at the wall either. You were definitely at the aqueducts.
I was talking about that big wall with the arches in them
Yeah,
that you can go through.
I didn't realize they went so far into the zone, away from the sub entrance. Bushido says she does appear in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so you're right on that one. I haven't watched all of those. There was too many coming out at one time. It was kind of hard to keep up with 6 or 7 shows at once. But I do want to know about your opinions, guys. Those of you who have seen the movie Affinity Wars, good or no? Don't tell me any spoilers or anything like that, but what would you rate it on a scale of 1 through 10? 1 being the lowest, 10 being just the best movie you've ever seen in your entire life, and you're going to go watch it again. another 100 times. So it's a high list, you know. It's not very.
Is there a qualifier for it not being related to anything in the comics in a sense?
I mean, if you find the comics being good and the show not
No,
following
no, the
along with
comics
it.
story is a little bit older, and it was okay, but this is slightly different, and I still think it's like as far as a movie, just a general go see an awesome movie, it's probably a 9 or 10. I've seen it a couple of times too.
Nice. But as far as like a fan goes, somebody who's just like super hardcore into the story of like the comics might be a little disappointed. But then, you know, some of the other Marvel movies didn't follow along with the comics either. They changed them up here and there.
Yeah, you can really. It's like with books. You know, there's just some things you just can't do in movies.
It's hard to recapture that magic too, like when you read that comic as a kid.
But they've also like clearly stated that they have different timelines, you know, in the books, and so they're going to do their own timeline and everything for the movies. So everything in the MCU movies is going to be slightly different from what they want in the books.
Hold off on resume, AC. I'm gonna go pull that forager and then you can resume afterwards.
All right. You want to buff or anything before you go?
Yeah, I'm gonna need that.
If you can give
I think it's
me
pretty amazing.
spirit,
Brundle.
I will go with you to make sure. Don't loot everything.
Okay,
Hey,
I have to ask anybody that's seen Star Trek Voyager all the way to the end, the last episode, on a rating of 1 to 10 as far as best Star Trek episode ever. Come on, give me some numbers, people.
I mean, they wrapped it up really well. As far as like the best Star Trek episode ever, that's a hard
They made
one because
Voyager into a Batmobile.
yeah, but I mean, as far as like replay value, there's some out there that have a lot more replay value. Like you can watch them just kind of in the background and get a lot more hours out of them. But I think it was really well done. I would say a 7 or 8 for sure.
Okay. I feel you, man.
Get wrapped up.
I can only watch it a couple times, but I definitely like more. I love going back to Next Generation because of characters like Q.
Right. Okay, I
But I have to say, like that episode of Voyager was just so awesome. They messed up the Borg.
I
They
found
fixed the timeline.
found the one spot on the map where I can go and hear crickets, or I can back up and hear nothing.
I'm gonna med for a bit.
This is a little weird. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the Borg. I think towards the like at the very beginning when they first introduced them in Next Generation, they were like this terrifying, just outrageous, unbelievably powerful entity that you just didn't know anything about, that mystery behind it. And then as they started to delve more and more into the Borg, they kind of made them really weird, as in like they don't attack unless they find you a threat or they want your technology. But then the Federation is always a threat. They let them go whenever they felt like it. And, you know, the whole 7 of 9 thing where their parents found a way to monitor them without being seen, but they already knew it because they took over their parents. And they still let it happen when they went over on the ship. So, like, there's a whole bunch of loopholes they did with the Borg just to make their episodes work.
Yeah, the Borg were kind of weird, and they even had like an alien race that could wipe out the Borg. But they were like, no, let's not let this alien race take out all of this Borg. Or they blew up the Queen, and then they were like, no, we just can make another Queen.
Yeah. Yeah, what was it? Species 3479 or is it whatever the number was that the designation they put forward?
Danny, you are way too much of a Star Trek nerd for me.
I don't think those numbers are right, to be honest.
But no, the fact that you remember it's like a species with like a number of races.
Because it was weird. Like, they didn't give them a name. Like, everybody else has a name, you give them a number. I'm like, come on, guys. Give a little bit more thoughtful into a character creation race that you bring back on several episodes. They actually brought them back and they kissed each other. Chakotay fell in love with one of them and they had babies and, you know, it was, it was a little weird. They still didn't have a name. Kind of irked me a little bit. That's why I remember it.
I just had to. I can always remember those graphics from when they went into the like other dimension and everything. Blown my mind.
Oh yeah, it's almost like going into a nebula. Is what it looked like. Fluidic space. Species 8472.
Yes. All right, so season 3, A Year of Hell, part 1 and 2. That is the episodes where Red made his appearance.
She went off the deep end on those Hell episodes where she was tracking down the other Starfleet officer and wouldn't let him go. Because she broke the rules many, many times on her jaunt out there, but...
Janeway was a kind of control freak.
Oh, no kind of about that. Did you see the first episode with the other captain that they had picked? It was a French actress.
No, what?
Yeah, they shot the entire first episode with her, and at some point decided probably not the best fit for it. So it's a little weird. It doesn't have the polish that a finished episode has. You know, they didn't put on the glare, the fancy camera angle, you know, stuff like that. But it's the whole thing done with her, word for word, with the same actors. The only change is the captain. She's a little bit of a potato in that episode. Like they showed her credentials. She has been in tons of things, and she has gotten awards and probably a fantastic actress. But for that role, not so much. I think I lost you too.
They're like, can you play a lady with a stick up your butt? She
Just
did
go,
well.
just go to the gate that leads to the
Seb?
courtyard to Sub.
Okay.
I'm right here. It's got to be really deep in.
Yeah, I'm with you. You're just a little faster than me, so I might have to pause every minute or so.
Did you also, being such a Star Trek fan, it sounds like you probably watched Deep Space Nine, but you didn't like it, you said?
I thought Deep Space Nine grew on me. The very first time I watched it, I wasn't a huge fan. It was kind of weird to start with, but I've watched it a few times now because it's just something like I can throw on in the background. I can listen to it while I'm, you know, playing EQ or doing something that doesn't require me to really concentrate too much, and it's okay. It's the reason I guess I didn't like it as much is I always liked the original Star Trek. The same reason I kind of liked Stargate was going to a new planet, seeing a new culture, and then moving on to the next one episode.
You got it on track.
Same thing with like Eureka, new technology every episode, and then moving on to the next one. You know, like that whole pushing the boundaries and not trying to get wrapped up in too much character development. That kind of drives me crazy when they start doing backstories on every single person, including the janitor. I'm like, you know, as much as I'm sure their stories could be cool, it's not really why I'm watching the show. You know, I want to see the technology. I want to see the new cultures. You know, and I was stuck on a space station. It's kind of hard to go to a new place every time. And there you
go.
But Babylon 5 did a good job of that.
Oh my God, Babylon 5 is one of my all-time favorite shows. Actually, I think they did the fine line between having the exploration and the character development, along with just the intrigue of politics mixed in there with it, and it was very on the nose sometimes, but absolutely well done, and the actors really kind of pulled it off. I know some people can't stand it though. Crazy if you ask me. I love Babylon 5. And then they had the go ahead.
Do Sequest?
Yeah, Sequest from way back when.
Oh man, love that show.
Somebody was just talking about that. Sequest the guy from that one became a rapper or something, and they went to his concert recently.
Not the guy that was in Jaws.
Am I going the right way, you see?
I think you are. You're at the river. You need to go towards the entrance now, which I'm not 100% sure on what direction that is. I'm gonna give you a small heal just in case.
Okay, we're going northeast.
Okay, so this is the aqueducts. Yeah, if we follow the aqueducts all the way, we'll hit the wall. And once we hit the wall, we just go left. Yeah, so let's go this way. Hey, Bart. Oh, thank you for the cheers, man. That's very kind of you. Driving by to share some love. I appreciate it, man. And I was glad to be able to catch your stream the other night. We're trying to do a SEB group over here tonight, and it didn't work out as well, but we did happen to be able to get some SEB keys for the people who needed it. Are you right behind me, right, Tara? Okay. Yeah, we were able to get some SEB keys for them, so tomorrow, hopefully, if everything works out, we're going to have Octo and Cypher and Nodal, and we're going to have a few other people kind of come out, maybe Trav, and we got a really good guy here on the call with us right now who's going to be playing as Necromancer. So it's going to be kind of cool to have a Necromancer into the mix, because that's not a class that we really get to group with all that often. And they're kind of OP in like just the sheer utility that they bring to the table as well as their DPS. But if you're on tomorrow, Bart, you're more than welcome to come join us in our group. We'll put something together. Maybe do a Kale raid, or... Yeah, we've been doing a lot of Kale raids lately. I know they're great, and a lot of people are enjoying them, but some people might be getting burned out on them. I don't know. We'll see. We might do, like, Howling Stones or something. Yeah, in old school, the group didn't work out too well. I think we didn't really give it a chance as much as we probably could have. It's kind of a hodgepodge in the first place, and then some of our members had to leave. But we're talking about good TV shows, and the topic of choice at the moment was how amazing Babylon 5 is. It's kind of a leading question, but yeah, I was kind of a big fan of it. All the movies.
How long was that on for?
What was it, 5 seasons? 6 seasons?
Babylon 5? I think it was 5 or something.
It was on for, a good number of years, and then they did 3 or 4 movies for it, and an offshoot episode, or not episode of, oh, did we lose it?
No, we didn't. I was just waiting for it to catch up so we don't lose it.
I'll read the shaman. They did an offshoot TV show of it called Excalibur or something. What do you remember exactly what that TV show was called?
I didn't even know there was an offshoot. I just remember there was a couple movies, and then Sheridan went.
Yeah, they did 2 different ones. Rangers, I think, was one of them, and that was very short-lived. I think it was 1 season where they followed the Rangers around. Completely different captain and crew, but it was kind of cool. And then they did another one, Excalibur? Yeah, so it was Excalibur, where they followed the ship Excalibur around because the shadow technology got used on the planet Earth, and they all got infected with some disease that they're going to die from in so many years. And so Excalibur was, ship being built on another planet, crew
That
from
wasn't shadow
Mars.
technology. That was a different alien race, right?
The Drow, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. Had come in, and they used their technology, and then we destroyed them. And
I thought it was leftover shadow tech that they were using because they were allies with the shadows at that point.
maybe it was really weird, like end of the series kind of thing.
But then the series picked up after that. That's what Excalibur was. Again, I think only for like a season and a half or something, but it did follow them around and had a little bit more of a mix of the... What were they called?
Remember that they were using the new ships from that alien race, right?
Something about
like the newer built ones.
the tech mages, or Can't remember exactly what they're. It's been so long since I've watched it, but I need to go back and do like a marathon session.
Anyone catch Earth Above and Beyond? I think it's called.
Oh yeah, that was only a season though.
Yeah, but that
Really
was
well
so.
done. I wanted to see how they were going to end it, because at the this is a Marines fighting an alien species, but then you find out that it's because we invaded their homeland, and then that one group actually kind of told the aliens about the big plan that was going to happen of their attacking their home world, and
Yeah,
that's kind of where they ended it. Big director
got a
that did
little
that.
weird, but
Same guy from X-Files.
Carter.
What was it
I
again?
was a kid when that was on, and that just like disappeared. So, so many great shows like that just got really weird. I mean, Sequest, for example, that got really weird in like the second or third season. I don't know when went off planet.
Yeah, I was going to tell Plug if he needed a res, but it looked like he's logged out. Unfortunately, I didn't get back to you in time. I'm sorry, we were running through the zone, so... But it looks like we got everybody's keys. They're going to go turn them in. I'll run with them just to make sure that nobody dies along the way, although it's a pretty safe travel. So, if you guys are ready...
I guess I could just evac us to EJ after we're done, and you can res me afterwards.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Come back. Don't let me forget that, because I almost did. Let's see. Bars is going to be offline for a couple of days. Roller Derby on Monday, and a new gaming rig. It comes Tuesdays, so I have to switch everything over. Ow. That is both a blessing and a curse at the same time. I had a horrible, horrible experience when I built my new rig. Everything worked, except I was getting distortions on my mic. And I was getting like static in the background. And it took about 6 to 7 months before I fixed it by simply restarting my computer one day and it going away all on its own. And now every time I restart my computer, there's a chance that it comes back. So you guys actually may hear a little distortion because it came back. And I have no idea how to fix it. So a little bit of a living nightmare when it came to it. But at the same time, I could run super decked out games and not even come close to getting lagged out. So I like it, but it sucks. I don't know. We never narrowed it down. It could be a power supply issue, although we switched out multiple power supplies, switched out multiple mics, switched out multiple cables, everything you can think of. Hold up a sec, Jibboos can't keep up. I think we left him behind.
Yeah, they were called for the Babylon 5, they're called the Track or something.
Mm-hmm.
They were servants of the Shadow. Yeah. That was such a good series, man.
I thought so. They didn't get overly bogged down in the romances. They didn't get overly bogged down in any one race kind of taking over what was going on. It was like I think everybody got a little bit of equal opportunity based off of if their stories.
What was that it was like Psychor or something?
The telepaths, yeah.
With Chekhov. Oh my god. Those guys were so I never really hated somebody as a kid. It was kind of hard to, just outright hate a character on a TV show, but man, I despise those guys so much. It's like see them on it's like fuck those guys.
He played it well.
He did such a good job.
It's kind of nice, because he did Star Trek where he was kind of a bit role. You never really got to see him shine too much. There was an episode or two where I think he was fighting in the hallway, or that might have been Sulu, but yeah, episode once in a while that he got to do a little bit of something different. But on that one, he really got to show his acting chops.
Oh yeah, he did just. It was just such a great thing, like not a protagonist, but
Oh, he reveled. He reveled in his evilness.
Yeah, yeah, it was great.
Like, if I'm gonna be evil, I'm gonna play that to the umpth degree. I'm gonna show these people what evil is really about, and then just be happy about it.
And they gave his character like just enough power to make him an annoying presence all the time. It was awesome.
That's the thing that you kind of put it right on the nail on the head. Is he was an annoying presence. He wasn't something that was gonna break the bank, but he was just there to, like that thorn in your paw, that you just can't remove.
Not on your side, but not exactly against you. And I loved it. It was one of those few roles that so like Bergaldi, no, who was the security officer?
Garibaldi.
Garibaldi. That guy, he was in my mind a straight kind of ripoff of um, Die Hard character McClane. Not the actor, but the actual character McClane.
A little bit. He wasn't as gun ho. He wasn't. You're doing like the lines, yippee ki kind of stuff, but yeah, he was kind of the straight lace. He was trying to be, anyways. Like, he apparently had issues in the character developments past of drug abuse and taking law into his own hands, and so he was trying to be that way.
There was some kind of like drug issue, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. A little bit of an addiction.
All the characters are so great on that. Like in Sheridan, like after the first season, I feel like it picked up more. But the first season, you had that other captain, and then the way they like turned it around, or was that just the first episode?
No, first movie. They had a movie that came on TV, and it was a different captain. And first season was a different captain, and he eventually went on and came back in several of the episodes. As Des over here is telling us, it was one of the first pre-made scripts before the show was even recorded. They had the entire thing decked out, and I did remember hearing about that, and I think it worked out extremely well for that reason, because they didn't just throw things in there because they're like, oh, people like this character, let's give them more of a role. No, they already knew where things were going to go, and they could give you little small hints here and there that really just kind of played. If you were paying attention, you could kind of, get an idea, because they weren't just making it up as they went.
Yeah, what was that one, Bogon, the other alien race that was such a mystery, and the fact that they knew what they wanted to do with that mystery the whole entire time.
Oh, you're talking about one of the three main races?
Borg?
No, you're close. It was kind of a short name. I can't think of it now.
I want to say it started with a V. Fuck.
I don't know why Psylocke keeps popping in my head, because that's definitely not it. You had the Shadows, you had the Centaur, and you had the suit guys. The guys that never showed themselves.
You got the Centauri, the Drak, which was the people that attacked us, the Narn.
You had Narn, yeah, well, I mean...
The Minbari, which was the
Boneheads.
Bald head people. And it's Vorlon, yeah. Those were the other race.
Vorlon, yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. And the movies, the like different Third Space and all the ones that took place in between some of the seasons and that took place after the main season, kind of delved more into their storyline. And I heard there was like books that came out for it as well, so kind of cool. And I like any sci-fi show that can kind of capture my attention. That's why I like Star Trek as well. Used to. I don't know about these new ones. This is time travel, man. They did it with Enterprise with Scott Bakula, who never really seemed like he was comfortable playing the captain. He always kind of seemed like he was waiting to phase out into another body. I was bringing a different role to the captain. Today I'm going to be the angry guy. Now today I'm going to be the relaxed, go-hearted, kind of lucky, let's do things by the seat of our pants kind of guy.
I don't know. I felt like he always had that condescending eyebrow squint every single time. Just like, really? Really, bitch? You gonna do this? And it was great, though. I only watched the first season of that, because I think they killed off a dude that I really enjoyed on this series.
I don't think they killed anybody off at the very beginning. Did they?
It's been a while.
They did that to Atlantis. They killed off the guy from Terminator 2, Liquid robot dude, whatever he was called. I can't think of his
T-2000 thing.
Was he a T-2000 or was that Arnold? See, my memory's good on some things and then completely a blank on others. It's a hit and miss thing.
Oh, he was a T-1000.
And then they reverted and went downhill with the third one, which was like the first one and second one combined, and that were supposed to be able to turn themselves into like missiles, but never did. Really, all she ever did was turn herself into a can opener and a flamethrower, which lasted for like all of 10 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know why they thought they were going to explain away her having, mechanical parts was better than just being a completely alloy thing.
I think they wanted to try something different. They didn't want to do the exact same
Gimmick.
Yeah, but they couldn't think of anything unique or anything better than what they had already gone with, which was liquid metal. Like, how do you get better than that? I don't know what it would be, but that's terrifying.
Metal in like the late 80s.
Yeah, when they came up with it, it was very unique.
I don't know, 90. Well, they did it in like 90, 89, 90, but the movie was released in 91. And yeah, and the way they had, it was like mercury or something that they had to have used, and the way they got it all to like pool together was just so cool. Such an awesome special effect that they managed to get done without like the CGI.
Oh, you're saying when he was broken into a million pieces and then like rematerialized back together?
Yeah, the other parts they obviously use CGI, but they did a lot of cool things where they're just like, yeah, we don't have graphics.
That's one thing I kind of miss about some of the older movies that they don't do anymore, because like everything could be CGI. They could make an entire city CGI, and it's really not that big of an issue. They can have an entire army CGI, and it's not that big of an issue. But in the old days, they used to have to do models or claymation, and I kind of like those. There's something unique about that look. Obviously, it doesn't look realistic, but it's still an enjoyable look, at least for me, maybe because like I grew up with it. So I would love
people definitely go too quickly. Like if you're struggling, it seems to me like if you're a director and you're struggling to get a scene done, they often just, let's just CGI.
And explosions.
Back in the day, you had to do it the other way. They're like, okay, we can't do this scene, so let's do a whole entire other scene or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't react, or don't show the spaceship, react to the spaceship. Show me your face. Oh my god, it looks amazing. We're not going to show it, though.
Yeah, they would find a different way to attack the scene. They'd be like, okay, well, we can't just shoot the outside of the spaceship because we don't have computer graphics. So we can make a tiny model. We can't zoom in, so we just have to start on a bridge. Mm-hmm. Like, instead of having you be outside the spaceship, zooming in with computer graphics and make people sort of, I don't know, it doesn't look that good.
And you would think, because you're saying like a lot of, let's do this instead of this because this is what we wanted to do. You think movies would have gotten better because now I can show you what's in my brain as I want to show it. But it seems like it's kind of dumbed down a little bit. Like they keep showing more explosions.
Sometimes I wish people would keep those thoughts of what they want to show us from their brains just in their brains.
Sometimes it's good too, but yeah.
Did you see Daredevil?
I unfortunately, I was not blind like he was, so I did see that movie.
I mean, I thought I might have been after that movie.
You and everybody else. That one, and was it Catwoman with Halle Berry?
I did not see that because I just do not have. I love Halle Berry. I'm not going to ruin it.
It wasn't great. It wasn't as bad as Daredevil, but it wasn't great either. Superhero movies, they were hit and miss.
I love Jennifer Garner. Like, I think she's great. And Ben Affleck's like he's got a big forehead. I can get around it though. So it should have been okay, but damn, they
Jennifer
were just like the guy who wrote the script or directed it had never picked up a comic.
Jennifer Gardner did that other one too, where she was what was she? Was she a superhero or a ninja? She had this little
Oh, she played Elektra.
Electra. That's what it was, and that one was a weird movie too. Didn't seem
But
on par like the.
that was in Daredevil.
Well, no, she played that one, but she actually had a standalone.
No.
Yeah, and she.
Oh, God damn it! Don't tell me. Don't ruin it more.
It was weird. It wasn't as good. It wasn't as good as like the modern comic movies. You know, like they have really perfected the art of what the fan base wants to see. As far as DC goes, they still need a little bit more work on perfecting that art. But the other guys, they seem like they're on point. Especially since you guys are saying that the new movie is like a 9 or a 10. Like that's amazing. I thought it was going to be hard for them to put so many superheroes in a movie and give them all screen time, let alone kill off a few of them.
I think the biggest downside is that people are not familiar with the story, are kind of going to go into the Marvel movie being like, well, these guys always win. Even when they're losing, they end up winning at the end of the movie. This is a 2-part movie. It's 3 hours long, both movies, so it's long as hell. You don't even realize that you just sat through 3 hours of them not necessarily winning or losing.
Well, I think there's been enough people talking about enough movie or previews talking about people who are going to die. They're preparing you for it, like whether it happens in the first movie or the second one, it's going to happen. And since I haven't seen it yet, we're not doing any spoilers, so don't worry, guys. We're not going to mention any details about it. But yeah.
The first one builds up everything you need for the second one. The second,
well, no details. Again, no details.
Yeah. I'm trying to be as vague as possible, but what they do in this movie,
the vaguer the better.
You're just gonna. It's all build up for their biggest, baddest movie that they're gonna be releasing next year.
I think people have gotten in the habit of being able to sit in movies longer than they used to be able to. Oh, we have somebody waving. Enoch. Hey, man. How you doing?
I think it's amazing that they had that story arc going on for so long over, 15 other movies. Accumulating with just these two.
What Robert Downey Jr. has done, that's half of his career as Iron Man.
I think it's more the writers than the actors. But
well, no, not like that he's turned it into this unique character. No, I just meant he's lived that character for so long. It's like playing Ross on Friends, or Seinfeld, some character forever.
He had some stuff beforehand, but yeah, I think he had a little bit of a problem with some of the directors or actors or something, and he kind of got a little blackballed.
Drugs maybe.
Well, I mean, if you look at the Tony Stark in the comics, he was perfectly cast with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I think it was a combination though between not only the writers but the actors, because if you have a great script and you have horrible actors, you got to have that screen presence. Whatever that X factor is that I don't understand, but the people in Hollywood definitely seem to be able to pick them out.
Stay where you are. I'll give you a soap pot.
It's not. It's a red. I'll get one over here in the comments before I log out.
No, I've got tons on my Cleric and I don't play her, so they'll go to use. I'll just give you one.
All right. I'll pay you a little bit of money. Thank you, Tara at AC, for helping me get the key for Seb coming for the night. Absolutely, man. If we had known that you were running into issues like that, we probably would have brought out more of the gang, got it done a little quicker for you. Sorry that you guys had to kind of go through the hardships of that. That's kind of why we do the open Seb keys, so it's not so rough on y'all. When it's a tough zone. It actually kind of sucks to pull anything in there because you get so many more ads. And when we get like Nonal and Tara and all the other guys at the zone line and they pull all these mobs, we usually get like 10 or 15 of them, and they're just burning them down as quickly as we can get them. So really, really nice to have more people when you do that. But congrats on the keys. Hopefully either tomorrow or the next day, Tuesday, we'll be able to help you get in there and use them. Now, don't worry about levels. We tend to take low levels in there all the time. We took Cypher in there when he was 30-something, 37, 38, and it worked out fine. Just a little precaution, stay in the back, stand up during pulls, things of that sort, but we'll get you in there. And next is big fan from the UK. Going world renowned here or something. Or that crap guy, Octo, single pulls. Absolutely, Octo, that crap guy. He does single pull a whole lot better than we do. So when we have him come out, it gets a lot easier. A little bit more boring, I guess, maybe might be the case, because he makes it so easy. We do like to have those huge pulls where everybody dies, and then these horrible corpse runs that last for like an hour and a half. Tends to be our, bread and butter here. I think I'm the one causing it, to be honest.
Why are you giving me money when I tell you I don't play this 2 anymore?
It was weighing me down. I feel bad.
You need to save money for your epic.
I do actually need to save a lot of money for my epic, but I am getting there. I'm actually, I think I got about 7K saved on all my tunes combined.
I'll just end up giving it back to you.
Yeah, I breathe the board now. Dude, I'm just kidding. Giving you a hard time. He brings the easy street. Anytime you have a bard come out, single pulls, mana song, you throw in all that, and you don't really have too hard of a time, which allows you time to relax. The last time we got Octo to come out, we were in the ABC camp, and we kind of just kicked it talking about, was it movies? I don't remember what we were talking about, but I remember it was very enjoyable to kind of just have a relaxing night after work and not really have to think too much on anything in particular about mobs and healing. I think I only healed like once or twice that entire night. Let me see, guys, we're gonna be heading out here in a little bit. Let me see if we can find any P99 streamers. Nope. P99 streamers. Hey guys, and welcome to the disembodied voice of AC Gamer. We are definitely going to be doing a lot more series in the future, but here are a few of them that you guys might find interesting. Of course, you're more than welcome to check them out. I would love to hear your comments. Again, if you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. It's definitely the indicator that I use to tell if you guys want to see more videos like that, of that particular game style, of that series in the long run. So when you guys leave comments down, it helps me decide whether we should keep doing it, as well as whether you want to see games like that in the future. And here are a few of them right here. I kind of picked out a few of different genres. We will be doing spotlights for other YouTubers in the future. So if you want to get a little shout out, definitely let me know. If you group with me, chances are you will get a shout out in here eventually. But for now, these are just 4 series that I have that I feel like could use a little bit more attention, and that you guys might actually enjoy as well. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will definitely catch you all next time.